What up, Live Lean Nation? Brad Guthrie here from LiveLeanTV.com. Now today I want to talk about the idea of eating like your ancestors and clarify what this actually means. Now, I've used this terminology before, but based on a few comments, it seems like I need to simplify this concept. So one of my most watched videos was called How to Become a Fat Burning Machine. And in this video, I showed a visual example of the spillover effect. So to put this simply, the spillover effect occurs when you consume more carbohydrates than your body can store as glycogen in the liver and muscle cells for short-term energy. So once your glycogen levels are full, there is no room to store that extra sugar for energy, so it gets stored in the fat cells as body fat. This spillover effect tends to be a continuous cycle as people continuously eat too much sugar and don't move their bodies enough to burn it off as energy, so they just keep getting fatter, and fatter. On top of this increase in obesity, today's leading causes of death such as diabetes, heart disease, and cancer are often related to lifestyle choices caused by poor diets of refined and processed foods and a lack of exercise. So here's the point that I want to make. These insulin spiking, refined carbohydrate foods were not being consumed by our ancestors. And this matters because our genetic structure is very similar to the genes of our oldest ancestors. And since your genes control pretty much every function in your body, people need to start focusing on consuming more of the types of foods that your genes and your digestive system were programmed for. Unfortunately, the majority of the processed foods that people eat today were not around, so our digestive systems are not even designed to know how to process these foods. Now, one of the comments that I always get is, well, why was our ancestors' life expectancy way lower than it is today? And obviously you can't argue with this, but our ancestors also didn't have the advancement in healthcare, in medicine, or even the kind of shelter from harsh weather and, of course, the predators. I'm pretty sure that a lot of our ancestors were dying due to being eaten by a lion or freezing to death. Not diabetes, not heart disease, and not cancer. So without getting the proper nutrients from food, the body can malfunction, leading to these lifestyle-related causes of death that did not affect our ancestors. Now, if you've ever heard me say, eat like your ancestors, I'm referring to eating the majority of your calories from a diet of meat, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and some fruit. And when I say meat, let me clarify, I'm not referring to the hot dog, street meat that you see outside the sports stadium or the cheeseburgers being sold at the majority of fast food restaurants. I'm referring to grass-fed, hormone-free, and humanely raised meat. And yes, I realize our ancestors probably ate many parts of the animal, like the tongues and the spleens, that we don't eat today, but that's not what I mean by eating like your ancestors. I'm referring to focusing on adding a healthy protein source to your meals and reducing the consumption of foods that are created in a factory using refined carbohydrates and over-processed fats that are foreign to your genes. If you look at most cases of obesity, their diet primarily focuses on refined carbohydrates as the meal's main food source, with very little, if any, high quality protein. And once again, if your plate includes a burger patty in between a pair of hamburger buns from a fast food restaurant, that's not considered a high quality source of protein. And many scientists believe that our ancestors' diets consisted of at least 30% of calories from high quality protein sources. Yet, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention did research back in 2008 and found that the average US macronutrient breakdown was approximately 48% carbohydrates for men, 51% for women, and 34% fat for both men and women, and only 16% protein for both men and women. And that study was completed just under 10 years ago, so who knows where that is today. So I believe that our bodies become more susceptible to diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and obesity when our plates are filled with more refined and processed carbohydrates than if our plates were filled with foods from the earth that are closer to what our ancestors ate. So bottom line, guys, focus on consuming high quality protein sources and healthy fats as your main source for meals and a big portion of vegetables, and reduce the consumption of refined carbohydrates and over-processed unhealthy fats. And I'm not saying that you need to be 100% paleo or never eat a piece of pizza again, because you know I love my pizza. I'm just recommending that you become more aware of the foods that you're feeding your body and focusing on making a consistent progress towards cutting back on refined carbohydrates. So if you want help simplifying your diet, guys, check out our Live Lean 20 diet system, where we give you 20 delicious meals and snacks using just a total of 20 healthy ingredients prepared in 20 minutes or less. Follow the quick and simple cooking videos. use the meal plans and the grocery list and start changing the way that you eat. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching and keep living lean.